name's Randall. I am a middle school substitute teacher.
My name's Michelle and I'm an urban planner.
Hi, my name is Grace and I am an analyst with one of the universities in town.
Hi, I'm Susie and I'm a librarian.
A one-bedroom garage apartment. This will be 10 years in June.
So we own a duplex and we bought it in, I want to say 2014, so 6 years now.
I own a house with a garage apartment, and the apartment is on top of a two-car garage. And basically half of the apartment is a living space for bedroom and living area. A quarter of it is the kitchen. There are 2 closets and the remaining piece is a bathroom.
So I don't live in a garage apartment anymore, but for 2 to 3 years, or maybe it was 4 years, I lived in a garage apartment just north of UNT, an efficiency style. So it had the main living space, separated bathroom, and then sort of a semi-separated small kitchen and a walk-in closet.
This was the move back to Texas after being out of state for 20 years, and just happened as just a chance drive-by, just a kind of a drive through Denton, and saw that these types of units were available, and I kind of decided that this is what I was looking for, and landed here.
So we chose to buy a duplex as honestly part of a retirement strategy. We know that this would bring in a little cash income once the mortgage is paid off, so we thought that we would do that as part of diversifying for retirement. We lived in the duplex for several years and we really enjoyed that as well.
This unit was with the house when I purchased it in 2002. And so it was already built and working as an apartment.
During most of my schooling, I had several roommates. So I lived in a 2-bedroom apartment with 4 of us total. I lived in a 3-bedroom house with 4 people total, including myself, a couple of times. I got a full-time job finally, and I finally could afford a place by myself without multiple roommates. And the apartments, even then, were fairly expensive. And so this was more affordable for me to be able to have my own space.
Detachment, I mean, nobody touches me. I'm not in a multi-unit structure. I like having windows on all 4 walls.
It gives everybody a sense of privacy, but a sense of being in a home rather than, an apartment complex.
For us, we actually bought 2 other duplexes in Denton that we also rent out because, again, it's part of kind of our retirement portfolio. And so for us, we're not looking at cash flowing a lot of money and living off that now. It's just a couple units, but it is a long-term vision for us to live on in retirement and to have something for our children.
My renter right now told me that their former place had just 1 window in it in a big apartment complex, and now it's like living in a treehouse.
Living in the duplex was great, particularly this one because it faced a park.
For that person who was here for 15 years, it was nice, it was comforting to have a nice neighbor who had eyes on the property and who was here at different times and could look after things. Sometimes would look after our pets if we were out of town. And there is a little added income, but it's just a nice feeling to, be able to help someone out.
So for me, the benefits of living in a garage apartment were that I liked how many windows I had. I could open the blinds and just have it so bright in there. There were windows on every side. When the weather was nice, I could open all of the windows and get a really nice cross breeze. And I just liked that I was close to where I needed to be, that I didn't have to use a car for every single trip that I needed to make. And I liked that it was affordable compared to apartments and compared to rental houses. And it didn't require me having any roommates. If I needed anything, I could just contact the owners who were on the same property.
Originally, we were not going to rent it out at all, and we just planned to have it for friends or relatives who dropped in or use it for storage. But people lined up wanting to rent it.
One of our first tenants was actually a lady that had always lived in this neighborhood, raised her family in this neighborhood, but wanted to downsize after her husband passed. And it was great because she moved in here and she was still able to maintain all of her friendships relationships, go on the same walks with her neighbors that she used to. So it was that aging in place kind of things that this duplex made available for her.
For the most part, they've been either students or musicians or students who are also musicians. I had a renter for 15 years. He was a musician and a friend of the family, and just it worked out for him.
And then we had one tenant actually who worked there's some offices just up the street, and he was able to walk to work from the duplex.
The first person who lived here, someone approached me and asked me if her student could live in the apartment.
I think part of the thing is we get to know our tenants, and so oftentimes we'll rent to people that maybe don't have the best credit, but there's like good explanations, like there was a health issue or a recent divorce, and so it might not be something that a chain multifamily would rent to them based on that credit, but we know them as persons, we can meet them, interact with them, decide we trust them, and then kind of form that relationship, which is nice.